All right, cool. I think it's all working out. So welcome, um, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. My name is Crispina French, and I am kind of an OG textile recycling entrepreneur. I started a business back in 1987, 1989 for reals. And I was a college student at Mass Art in Boston. And over the last 30 years, when I first started my business, you guys, people really thought I was crazy. They were just like, what's it made out of? Is it clean? So I have all sorts of funny stories about people saying the most outlandish things to me, but all in good time, people kind of caught on and realized that this, we kind of need to do this. We kind of need to do, to use, sorry, I'm just making a little adjustment. We need to use what we have, right? Like we have so much richness in all of the things that we are not actually using, that we can put all those things to use, save our environment by not having to manufacture more and make some really cool one-of-a-kind stuff. So I have kind of done a little pivot in my business in the last 12 months where I realize that there's a ton of people out there who really want to figure out how to make a business that supports their ideal lifestyle by using recycled or upcycled textiles. Does that sound like you? Is anybody out there listening who has a business that really wants to like take it up a notch, up the ante, and make it really rock so they can live an awesome life and, have health insurance and savings? Because I remember feeling that way myself. It was like I was working so hard, and it just took a little kind of tweaking to make it really serve me a lot better. So I'm all about helping people with that. But today, and I actually do these lives right here on whatever channel you're watching every Tuesday at 11 a.m. And I had kind of like a super weird morning in that I had this other obligation that I completely spaced. Has anybody ever done that? Have you ever spaced completely like a really like committed obligation? Oh my goodness. Anyway, so here I am. It's 11 o'clock on Tuesday. This is another obligation that I give myself to reach out and just greet you and welcome you to the world of really conscientious and gentle living. And with that, some creative fun, a little hijinks, good humor. And today I wanted to talk to you about virtual shopping events. And it's funny, the first time I ever did a virtual shopping event, I did it totally on the fly. And it was a suggestion by one of my followers on, I think it was on Facebook. And I wish I could remember who it was. If you're listening now and you had asked about that, just remind me because that was super awesome. And also, if you were not that person, or even if you were that person, have you ever attended a live like virtual shopping event? Has that been something that you've ever like witnessed from the other side? I would love to, because honestly, I kind of just made it up. And I've never actually witnessed it happening from where you guys are right now. So if you have, and if you would recommend somebody, I'd love to have the ability to watch that happen. And I just want to talk a little bit about the way I do it, because I do everything kind of on the fly. And there's not a huge investment made. Sometimes after I sort of prove a concept, if it's something that seems to be like well received, I will, invest in maybe better equipment or whatever. But initially, I feel like it's really possible to build your audience by doing live virtual shopping events. And it's a little tricky for me to show you how I do this, because right now I'm using the cameras that I use for the live shopping events that I host, but I'm going to do the best I can. And I would welcome any questions. So this, my name again, in case you tuned in late. Oh, someone's on San Juan Island. Terry, hello, good morning to you. Thank you for tuning in today. So where are you tuning in from? Anybody else out there have a minute, pop a little comment up? I'd love to just, one day I'm going to I have this beautiful map, and I'm going to put it up, and I'm going to start putting pins on there for everybody who mentions where they're tuning in from. Anyway, I'm in Beckett, Massachusetts, Western Mass, kind of like real snowy. This morning I went for a run when I was supposed to be doing something else, and it was -1 Fahrenheit out there, and I loved it. Oh my God, I forgot how much I love to run in the very cold weather. Anyway, today I'm a textile recycling entrepreneur, and today I'm talking about hosting virtual shopping events. I had a bunch of comments come through over the last couple of live streams where people were asking, like, how do I get my stuff out there? Like, how do I build sales? Like, what, it's on Etsy, it's listed, like, what's next? And one of the things I found to be a really successful way of selling my product is to do a virtual live shopping event. And I'm just going to run through kind of an outline of how that works for me. So I schedule it, and actually I have one scheduled for Saturday at 3 p.m. if anybody wants to check me out live and just watch it and learn, because it's really, it's pretty easy to do. Just pretend you're talking to your girlfriend, or what I do is I pretend that I'm in my booth at a show, because I love people. I love talking to people. I love learning about people. That's why I want to know where you're tuning in from. Gail's in the attic in Foster, Rhode Island. Hey, Gail. Awesome. So nice to have you with me again. It's so nice to see the familiar faces coming up. So Michigan, Julie G. Hey, so Michigan had won the prize for the most accounts that ever sold my product when I had my wholesale business. I can't remember how many accounts I had, but I had to be like super careful within Michigan, because those people out there were loving up my stuff, right? Julie, it's cold, right? It's cold. People like wool, warm stuff. Anyway, I've never actually been to Michigan. I'd love to go. The UP, right? All right, so back to virtual shopping events. What I do is I schedule it, and I schedule it a couple of weeks ahead before it's going to happen, so I can kind of talk about it a little bit. And I can also get product ready to sell, right? So that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, is just like, it's Valentine's Day. I make heart blankets. People totally dig the heart blankets. I don't have any production help right now. Like, I am totally the Lone Ranger over here. I have a bookkeeper, I have a virtual assistant, and I have a community manager, and we all work remotely. So as far as studio work goes, I do it all myself, which I love. And I do occasionally have interns who I also love. I'm talking to you, Lila and Slade and Sarah. And there's a list of like the most amazing goddesses who have come through my studio. I feel so blessed for that. So right now I'm just doing stuff on my own, which I love. And it also means that there's just a little bit available, because I don't really have a whole lot of time to be making. And I'll talk more about why in a little bit. So Saturday, 3 p.m., it's posted. I put it up on Facebook as an event. And I have a business page on Facebook as opposed to my also personal page. Okay. And LinkedIn is new to me. And I think LinkedIn is more like not so much retail. It's more like business to business. So I haven't actually posted any events in LinkedIn, but I do Facebook. And then I just talk about it on the other social media channels. So YouTube and Instagram are the two that I'm I use the most. I also post on Pinterest, but I don't really get Pinterest. But anyway, so, okay. Then I make my product, and I talk about it, and I show pictures of it, and it gives me something to talk about in my social media feed, so people can kind of like say, oh, wow, that's a pretty color palette. I'm going to go and see if I can get a hold of that blanket. I also then take photographs of the blankets. And one of the things I have to like really emphasize here is when I post product in my shop, normally I have photo shoots done. So I like compile a bunch of product. I hire a photographer. We go somewhere on location. We shoot the product. It's really expensive. It's really time consuming. And when you're making one-of-ones, it's hard to include that in the cost that you're charging for your product. So this virtual shopping experience cuts that huge expense out of having to do all that professional photography, right? And have such a large collection put together to make it worthwhile. So I photograph them like with my little, iPhone, clickety click, take a picture, and I post each blanket in my shop, which is in Squarespace. I'm actually in the process of moving my website right now, but right now it's in Squarespace. I love Squarespace. I think Squarespace is an amazing platform for people who are learning, all right? Or like, even if like, it's just easy, it's user friendly. I'm leaving Squarespace for other reasons. It has nothing to do with the shop. I'm actually probably going to keep my shop in Squarespace. I also have a shop in Etsy as an aside, and I don't use my Etsy shop for this particular event. So I schedule those posts of the new product that I have to go live when the virtual shopping event starts. And you can do that with most platforms. You can schedule when you want your new items to show up in the shop. Okay. Then I set up my studio, and this is what I'm going to show you. And I'm going to actually move the camera around. So if you're tuning in right now, when I get the camera moving around, like somebody help out in the comments and let people know what's going on. So Instagram, I'm here. I'm not sure. I might go off camera for a minute. Everybody else, I'm going to move this camera so you can see my setup for the virtual shopping event. Okay, so this is my studio. This is I have my office room. And sorry, that chimney is kind of large, but here is, the behind the scenes. I'm going to try to go slow. On the other side of the chimney is like my work table. I have another room that goes through that like little hatchway door that goes into like a sewing room, but this was kind of like my video camera shooting room. So there's the couch, and I have my new product that I'm going to be showing at my virtual shopping event on the couch. I also have my umbrella Swift on there because that's where I use it. And I just think it's kind of cool. So I just like make a little setting, make sure the floor is kind of tidy, try to get everything that's visually like just distracting out of your space. And then you guys are going to laugh at this. Well, there's my popular rug loom is set up over there, but right now there is my computer. Okay, so it's teetering on top of 2 buckets of screen ink from the print shop downstairs, and my favorite bar stool that my dad gave me and painted. And then I have my other little tripod, which hi Instagram, which is where let's look at my see it. This is my phone, and that is what people on Instagram are being that goes to Instagram. So that is on another stool and a couple of buckets. So the 2 camera setup they're very close together. So when I put this camera back, it's going to be perched right on top of this computer screens here. So like the eye level of the 2 cameras is very similar. Okay. All right. So I wish I could show you a little bit better. Are you getting this at all? Hi, I'm back up here now. Is this helpful? And Julie says, yes, it's very cold and walking on, we're waiting on a snowstorm and I can't wait. I love it. So did you get that? Was that visual helpful? I'm sorry that the camera is a little tricky, and I'm going to try to figure out a different way of doing it in the future. So it's a little easier for people to get kind of a scope of like what the space I'm in looks like. Okay, once I have my space all set up, I know that this chair that the computer's on needs to go in the spot on the floor. I do these live streams every Tuesday, so I have a really good idea. You can mark it with tape on the floor. So if you need to come back to it after setting it up your initial time, you can totally just, find your spot without having to take a lot of time and testing. Okay. So we're talking about hosting virtual shopping events today for anybody who just joined. And my name is Crispina French. I'm a textile upcycling entrepreneur. I teach people how to have successful textile upcycling businesses that support the planet and their ideal lifestyle. And I also make products. So I'm going to be selling some of my product online on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. in a virtual shopping event that I just kind of conjured up. Like somebody asked me if I would be at any virtual shopping events. And I thought, yes, I will. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to figure it out, which is actually the best attitude for any entrepreneur. So then when the event actually happens, you can see me, right? Like you can see my body. I know when I hold up, I'm going to be selling blankets, which are pretty large. So I want to have a distance between myself and the camera so that people can see the whole product. So I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to show you a little sneak peek of what I've been working on. And this is both of these first blankets I'll show you are ones that are not done yet, but these are the heart blankets that I do. And I love this one. It's all like charcoals and let's see, there's some really dark greens and teals in there. And then all the hearts are different textured there's a little bit of pattern actually in the background of the blanket as well, but all dark tones. And it's not pressed and it's not edged yet. So it's going to look like it got all dressed up with somewhere to go on Saturday. And I can hold these blankets like I just did in front of the camera, and you can see them well. I can bring them up close to the camera. I can show the detail. Something to keep in mind, actually, I want to show you this other one before. This is one. This is how I put the blankets together, and it's a little hard to hold it up because it's not finished, but I don't want to stress it. But do you see how it's all like in rows? So that's how I actually make the blankets. I design them as I'm sewing. Anyway, one of the things to keep in mind, depending upon your product, whatever it is you're selling. One time I did a virtual shopping event with my girlfriend Jill, who is one of my best and dearest friends. You should check her out. Her company is called Elements, Jill Schwartz, and she's on all the socials. Anyway, we did a sort of trunk show together, and it was really hard to feature both products because I was selling blankets and she was selling earrings. So, she needed to be really close, and she needed to be able to really show detail with like the possibility to see like, without having like, how earrings are, like you can see through them sometimes. And it was, so she had boards that she had put her earrings on, and then I'm with the blankets and I needed to be back farther. So it was a really tough thing. So when you're thinking about setting up a virtual shopping event for your product, just keep in mind, like, what are you selling and how you want to be as close to the camera as you can be while showing your blanket or your product off really nicely. So to have, like, I have a little, depth of field here. I can step back. I've got probably 6 or 7 feet between the couch and the camera. And I need that because I need to be able to kind of hold the blankets open and move through the space without knocking into things or feeling like I can't show the product fully. Does anybody have any questions out there? One of my commitments, oh, Kim, thank you. And my beanie. I made this hat. I'm a knitter. I'm a recent knitter. I learned how to knit a few years ago, and I like to make hats because they're so easy to make. They're quick. And Kim is one of my tried and true Tuesday Textile Alchemy tuner inners out in Montana. And Martina's here, and Sarah Stewart. She's going to help. That's awesome. Sarah Stewart, I think you're brilliant. I think you have some great ideas. I'm so excited to watch you fly with them, my dear. So if anybody has any questions, if you're watching this as a recording and you have questions about the idea of hosting a virtual shopping event, pop them right in the comments. We read through all of them, and it's helpful to know what your questions are so that we can address them better in the future. And when I say we, I mean me. I can address them better in the future, or, more poignantly. So let me know a couple things. Are you a textile recycling entrepreneur, upcycling, recycling, whatever you want to call it? Are you an entrepreneur, or have you thought about being an entrepreneur using recycled textiles to build a business that supports you and the environment? Because I love to teach and encourage and watch people just like blossom into a business that totally rocks their world. And so if that's you, please be sure to leave me a comment, tune in next Tuesday, hop on my website. You can join my email list. One of the reasons I started saying earlier that I don't have a lot of time for making this because I am producing the first ever Rags to Riches Textile Upcycling Summit. And it's going to be April 20th through 22nd. Mark your calendars. Early bird tickets will be going on sale later this month. And I'm super excited. If you have any questions, ideas, thoughts, people we should feature, if you have a favorite, like knockout, freaking rock star textile upcycler that I need to know about and feature, please let me know, tag them here. I know a lot of people in the industry, but I'm always excited to learn about new folks doing cool stuff. So keep the information flowing. If you're really into it and you want to really be part of like an amazing community, I have a beautiful online community called Stitcherhood. And if you go to my website, which I will post up in the comments, it's Crispina, like my first name, .eco. If you go there, there's a little navigation. You'll find Stitcherhood pretty easily. So have a great day out there, everybody. It's such a pleasure to hang with you on Tuesdays, and I look forward to catching you next week or Saturday, 3 p.m. My virtual shopping event. You can watch me and how I sell my product. So I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye, everybody.